Imagine waking up on a quiet Sunday morning. Birds chirping. The smell of fresh dew in the air. You stretch, yawn, and shuffle into the kitchen, hoping for that first sip of coffee. But instead, there's silence. And then, blood. Your father is lying in the hallway, lifeless. Your mother gone. Your siblings gone. Your world shattered in a single heartbeat. This was the morning of 12-year-old Ava McKinley, the only surviving member of a massacre so haunting, so twisted, it stunned even the most seasoned investigators. This wasn't a war zone. It wasn't cartel vengeance. This was Maple Falls, a sleepy, storybook town. Wooden fences, lemonade stands, Sunday school. And now, the name is drenched in infamy. The McKinleys were the kind of family Hallmark movies are made about. George, 44, was a contractor, a little league coach, the kind of guy who shoveled neighbors' driveways before his own. A hard-working father who was always ready to lend a hand, who joked with the local kids and always had a smile for everyone. Marissa, 41, was the warm stay-at-home mom who handed out homemade cookies on Halloween, kept the house impeccably clean, and hugged every kid she met like they were her own. She was always seen with a cheerful face at every local event, from PTA meetings to community fundraisers. Ella, 17, prom queen potential, top of her class, already accepted into NYU. Her smile lit up every room, and her future was as bright as her social media feed. She was a star in every sense. Lucas, 9, a ball of energy in superhero pajamas, obsessed with dinosaurs and comic books. He had a laugh that echoed through the house and a curiosity that never stopped. He was the kind of kid who could turn any room into his own little adventure zone. And then there was Ava, 12 years old, the quiet one, the shadow in the background, always sketching, always watching. The McKinleys had a perfect family Instagram, matching pajamas, fireworks on the 4th of July, pumpkin patches, snowball fights. Nothing seemed wrong, until everything was. September 3rd, 2022, 7:14 a.m. A frantic 911 call. They're not moving. There's blood. So much blood. I think my dad's. I think he's dead. The call came from Ava. She was the only one left. The only one still alive. Police arrived within minutes. What they found inside 12 Cedar Hollow Lane would haunt them forever. The front door was locked. From the inside. No broken windows. No signs of forced entry. Inside, a nightmare. George McKinley, dead in the hallway. Shot point blank. Marissa, dead in bed. Execution style. Ella, shot once in the head. Died instantly. Lucas, still clutching a stuffed dinosaur. And the dog, Buddy, a golden retriever. Shot in the garage. Only Ava survived. She had slept in the basement. Alone. After a fight with Ella over a borrowed sweater. She didn't hear a thing. Not the dog barking. Not the gunshots. Not the screams. She said she woke up to silence. Walked upstairs. And found her family, gone. The murder weapon was found in George's hand. A 9mm pistol, registered in his name. It looked like a murder-suicide. But even the most gullible rookie could see it wasn't. No gunpowder on George's hands. No suicide note. No hesitation wounds. Nothing made sense. Detectives were baffled. Who kills a family in their sleep and makes it look like the father did it? There were no signs of robbery. Nothing was missing. The crime scene was almost surgical. Neighbors heard nothing. No screams. No barking. The forensic psychologist brought in, Dr. Marianne Cole, said this wasn't spontaneous rage. This was calculated. Cold. Whoever did this had no emotional attachment. This was a mission. And the question kept echoing. Why was Ava spared? Some thought maybe she wasn't supposed to be. Maybe she was forgotten. Others weren't so sure. Ava was questioned multiple times. Each time, the same calm, even-toned response. I didn't hear anything. I was asleep in the basement. Her voice never cracked. Her drawings during interviews, dark. Houses burning. Faces without eyes. A girl standing in a pool of red. Was it trauma? Or something darker? Investigators dug into George's background. Clean. No affairs. No drugs. No criminal record. Until they found it. A life insurance policy. $2.5 million. Taken out just 3 months before the murders. The sole beneficiary? Ava. Why? Why not Marissa? Why not all the kids? Was George paranoid? Was he planning something? A neighbor remembered something odd. George had once asked about installing a panic room. Said he had a bad feeling. Then came the break. A fingerprint. On a photo frame in the living room. It didn't belong to anyone in the family. It belonged to Daniel Roan, a former employee of George's. Fired 2 years ago for stealing tools. He had a criminal record. Assault. Burglary. He'd just been released from prison 3 weeks earlier. Police found him in a motel 2 towns over. He looked startled, but not guilty. He had an alibi. Cameras showed he was at a bar all night. Witnesses confirmed. Still, his fingerprint was there. Daniel swore he hadn't been near the house in years. So was he framed? Or lying? The town of Maple Falls began to unravel. Whispers in grocery stores. Prayer chains at church. Parents watching their children more closely. Ava was placed in her aunt's custody. Out of state. Away from the cameras. Away from the curious eyes. But not out of the spotlight. Reddit sleuths began dissecting every detail. Her Instagram. Her drawings. Her interviews. Some believed she was the real mastermind. A 12-year-old orchestrating a perfect family massacre? Unlikely. But the internet doesn't care. True crime podcasts lit up with theories. The insurance. The untouched basement. The locked door. The silent dog. Was Ava sedated? Did the killer know she'd be in the basement? Then came a new twist. Security footage. From a neighbor's Nest cam. It didn't capture faces, but it caught movement. At 2:17 a.m., a figure walked up to the McKinley's back door. The dog barked, then went silent. At 2:34 a.m., the figure left. Calm. Unhurried. Police enhanced the footage. The build matched Daniel Roan, but the timestamp clashed with his alibi. Was the footage tampered with? Or was there another suspect? The FBI got involved. They started from scratch. Every phone ping. Every financial transaction. What they found blew the case wide open. A week before the murders, George received a call from an unknown number. That number traced back to a burner phone, purchased in the same town where Daniel Roan was staying. And the day after the murders, that phone pinged from the same area where Ava and her aunt had been relocated. Coincidence? Or was someone watching? The case, now a media frenzy, sat in the hands of federal prosecutors. But with no murder weapon, no eyewitness, and no direct evidence linking anyone to the crime, no one could be charged. The McKinley case became Maple Falls' coldest mystery. Ava, now a teenager, has never spoken publicly again. She's reportedly attending therapy, homeschooling, and living a life that barely resembles normal. But those who've met her say one thing. She's distant. Always looking over her shoulder. As if expecting something, or someone. Investigators believe someone planned this for months. Knew the layout. Knew the dog. Knew Ava would be spared. But why? Was it a message? A twisted gift? Or something even darker? To this day, the house on Cedar Hollow Lane remains vacant. Untouched. Frozen in time. They say time heals all wounds. But some wounds? They never close. They just bleed quieter. Thank you for diving into this darkness with us. If this story kept you up, follow our blog. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. This is Crime in the Dark, where the shadows speak, and the truth whispers.